Yo, so I've been seeing this video all over Twitter talking about Malika Andrews is like low key not racist, but like she be trying to get black people fired or something. I don't. This is what I heard from Twitter, bro. I don't really know. I'm about to see this video for myself, and I'm gonna be the judge of the information this guy's telling me. Hold on, is my headphone connected? All right, it is.
The ultimate
No, it's not.
hater of black human beings. The ultimate hater.
The ultimate hater of black human beings.
That says, I'm black and I'm proud.
Be remiss not to also mention that Missoula was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault. Adrian Payne was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida, early Monday morning. In 2018, he was waived by the Mad.
All right, so right now she's just talking about news. I don't.
ESPN's Outside the Lines that he'd been involved.
I'm gonna just let the video go, man. I ain't gonna say much. I'm gonna just watch, like it's a documentary. Let's see. Don't say nothing, just watch.
The NBA media is often disliked by many, usually just for their annoying journalistic tendencies. But considering recent involvements, one member of the NBA media stands out among all. She goes by Malika Andrews. In her short career in basketball media, Malika has already swiftly established herself as a very disliked figure for various reasons. Whether it be from taking extremist stances, targeting specific groups of people, or just arguing out of bad faith, she's not unfamiliar to any of it. But despite these concerning incidents, the recent large-scale firing in an attempt to cut costs by ESPN saw the exit of many experienced and clean-slated analysts and hosts including Jalen Rose, Jeff Van Gundy, and Max Kellerman. While Malika Andrews
ESPN did fire like their whole staff.
Outburst among the community.
I heard they about to sign Doc Rivers.
While unsurprising,
I don't want to hear that nasty voice.
That NBA players,
while I'm watching the game,
coworkers aren't fond of her.
That raspy voice.
But why is she still such a favorite at ESPN? This is just one of the many questions we'll be answering very shortly. Before we get into that,
she considered light-skinned?
Recently, the spotlight returned on Malika after the 2023 NBA Draft, where Malika Andrews publicly read out dramatized headlines of Brandon Miller's past, putting the second overall pick in a false and...
Bro. Yeah, she did do that, but like... I feel like they've been doing that on drafts, where they talking about people's like... past and stuff. We talking about their parents dying and all type of stuff. We talking about how their parents died and they got in a car crash and they jumped out of like... They be talking about their trauma all the time when they get drafted.
In an unflattering manner, attempting to tarnish his name. Some claim this was an unintended attack, but judging by Andrews' previous public comments, this incident targeting someone like Brandon Miller should have come at no surprise. Previous encounters saw her get into ill-intended exchanges with Giannis Antetokounmpo, Matt Barnes, and Stephen A. Smith, just to name a few. But before we get into how these altercations developed, let's rewind the clock and better understand who Malika Andrews is.
Alright, who is Malika Andrews, man? She's the puppet of ESPN.
Malika Andrews was born in January 19...
Okay, yeah, light skin, alright. White mom, alright. Let's analyze.
1995 in Oakland, California, to a personal trainer father and an art teacher mother. She attended a private coeducation prep school called Head Royce School, and she proved to be great academically. Although things seemed to be going great, behind closed doors it was a different story. Malika Andrews would later claim that as a middle schooler, she was angry, depressed, and anxious, and suffered from multiple eating disorders. She would state that from 14 years old, she would be in survival mode, later admitting to her parents that she may need some professional help. As a result, her parents would enroll her into a therapeutic boarding school in Utah at 14 years old. If you didn't know, a therapeutic boarding school is a school focused on creating a therapeutic schooling and housing environment for students with emotional or behavioral issues.
Okay,
regardless,
so
she would get through these tough times and
Got
graduate high school in 2012, and would later work at a civil rights law firm with her grandpa for a year, before she began her communications degree at the University of Portland. During her time in college, she would take on the journalistic roles at the university, where she was a sports writer, sports editor, and editor-in-chief. After graduation, Malika would introduce herself to Adrian Wojnarowski at the 2017 Summer League.
I should know Woj.
But it would be years later until they would work together at ESPN.
That the Woj? Sorry, nah.
Anyways, her academic results and diverse portfolio...
Hey, who y'all think better? Who y'all think better? Shams or Woj? Who better, Shams, Woj, or Chris Haynes? I'm gonna say Shams is the GOAT right now. The Woj used to be the GOAT, but Shams is the GOAT, man. Type shit.
Of work at her university would still earn her various internship offers. Coming out of college, she worked 1 year with the Chicago Tribune before.
Bro, whose bean is this? They got a long ass head, boy. Oh my god. My bad. If I see a bald head, I just got bad.
Before joining ESPN as a reporter, covering the Chicago Bulls and Milwaukee Bucks. While Malika was closely covering the Bucks vs Raptors series in 2019, was when her first controversial incident would arise.
Okay.
Following the Milwaukee Bucks' series
you said to
defeat
Giannis?
the
I don't know.
Raptors in the Eastern
I don't know this
Conference
story.
Finals, a tense situation unfolded between Malika Andrews and Giannis Antetokounmpo during a post-game press conference.
So you guys have talked a lot about how at this point, sometimes it takes experience. I'm wondering if now that you have some of that experience, if you see more validity to that point, or what you think about that now that you've gone through it.
As you can clearly see, as soon as Malika begins talking, Giannis's face changes before he later walks out of the room. The reason as to why Giannis left was that within a short 15 to 20 minute time frame following his team's exit from the playoffs, Giannis would be notified of an article written by Malika Andrews.
Bucks elimination puts focus on Giannis' future in Milwaukee.
In the article,
She said he's about to get traded to the Warriors.
Detail about Giannis's perspective on his.
In more concrete terms, a source close to Antetokounmpo said that the getting to the NBA Finals is not just an ambition; it could tip the scales as he weighs in contractual future.
Future at Milwaukee with free agency approaching.
So she was
The
just
article
chatting.
basically created the narrative that his commitment to remaining in Milwaukee was based on
If Milwaukee's progress toward the finals is impeded in any way this season, next season, etc., at some point in time, he's going to want his way out.
whether the Bucks reach the NBA Finals or
So
not.
she'd be chatting.
As a result, Giannis would not say a single word and see himself out, due to seemingly not wanting to partake in a conversation with her at all, as it seemed her journalism methods didn't sit right with him. Although some will claim Giannis is overreacting and that Malika was only doing her job, the subsequent controversies that emerged shortly after left the NBA community even more stunned.
I said,
As
none of this
time
sounds
went
too
on,
outlandish
Malika
right now, though.
Andrews
I feel like
began
every
being given
reporter
bigger
be doing this.
opportunities at ESPN. In late 2021, due to a diversity requirement and being set up, top ESPN host of 6 years, Rachel Nichols,
Rachel Nichols, and Jimmy Butler's wife. Sorry.
was fired by ESPN after invasive
she said
methods were
something.
used
She
to
said
spy
something
on
crazy
her
though.
and set her up. Anyways, this role later opened up to Malika Andrews, an ideal candidate in the role to fit diversity requirements, and soon Malika Andrews would become a regular host that would be seen on ESPN. In early 2022, Malika would get into it with Matt Barnes during a LeBron versus Kobe debate.
Okay.
I'm definitely not saying that, but what I'm saying is Kobe would get in, like he would not let the way some of his
But if you get in
teammates
someone's
play
face and it doesn't turn into
slide.
wins, then you're just getting in somebody's face.
But it's going to be a problem the entire season.
Months later, she would get into another debate with ex-NBA players.
You
Richard
can't look
Jefferson.
at a person.
Yes,
Yeah, but you're
no,
making
no,
an assumption.
yes, you can.
You can't
No,
look at a
yes,
person and know
yes,
what
sir.
their intent was.
There is no doubt that Malika's ego is in her way during these arguments, forgetting that she's debating ex-NBA players about basketball. Although these were just small
Okay.
confrontations, it was just a taste of
I
what
don't get
was
it yet.
to come. In September 2022, reports
Honestly,
came out that
don't get it
Celtics
yet. I
head
don't-
coach Ime Udoka was exposed for having a consensual relationship with a member of Celtics
Hey,
staff.
I me. Man. If me was, I'm not even gonna say it. Me, fuck you.
Breaking team rules, later resulting in his suspension as their head coach for the entire season that followed.
Shout out Joe
response to the
Mazzulla, man.
situation and
Shout
later
out Brad
suspension of
Stevens.
Udoka, many members of the NBA media would give their input, including Stephen A. Smith. Stephen would come to the defense of Udoka, pointing out the
Okay.
hypocrisy with the entire publicized incident involving Ime.
Every single sport, there's people messing around with each other within an organization.
Yep.
It happens all the time. That is the problem with this issue. This black man that you got up here, we talking about him on national television because you publicize a personal matter where there's a whole bunch of issues personally that have happened in NBA, NFL.
No, I really wonder if. So the rumor out there is that he was talking to like one of the owner's wives or something like that. So that's why that was like they had to get him out of there. It wasn't like no like personal trainer or something like that. It was like one of the owner's wives. And this nigga was married to Nia Long too, so it was like, I wonder if that's true though. If it was one of the owner's wives.
In other sports, we don't hear about their personal business.
This would proceed to get Malika heated and on her high horse.
Stephen A., with all due respect, this is not about pointing the finger. We are not here, Stephen A., to further blame women. That is not why we are here.
So Stephen A. had to show her who was the real boss.
Okay.
I don't appreciate where you're going with that. My issue is all of this being publicized. The point that I'm trying to make
that's a good
is
point.
just
You
like
don't
you're
think
not
someone would
mentioning.
notice if Ime Udoka was not at-
Excuse me. I listened to you. You're the one telling me to stop on my show. It ain't happening.
However, when discussing the same topic on Malika's show, things
Get on
got
her
a
head,
little
Steven.
different with
Fuck outta
Kendrick
here.
Perkins.
This relationship that was had with Ime Udoka and one of these women, it was consensual, meaning that this woman actually played a part in it too. So my thing is, yes, Ime Udoka was wrong. We get that. His punishment, he deserved that, and whatever else follows, I hate it for him, but he put himself in this position. But
Yep,
why
it's all
are
true.
the other people getting left off the hook?
Well,
That's the problem that I have
Kendrick,
right now. Everybody got to be held accountable.
It is unfair and irresponsible of us to go and to speculate on that, because what we have to...
Well, I'm not speculating.
Sure.
I have the information. I'm not speculating.
That is true though. All the stuff he said was literally facts though. He's not like what? Because when the report first came out, they said it was consensual. Well, so it's like it's not just Ime's fault, but I don't know, bro.
That whatever rule, the conduct that was broken on one side, it is not the same on the other side. I thank you for your perspective.
Although it's easy to point the finger at Malika, the reality of the situation goes deeper and may only point to Malika Andrews as merely just a messenger. Because the truth is, Malika Andrews fits in perfectly as the ideal candidate to promote the woke or feminist narrative that most media tend to push. I think the
Why you put woke in and put Aisha Curry? Bro, she's not woke, bro. She's not woke, bro. She's married to Steph Curry. She took her ring off when some dude with no shirt walked in. Are you married to Stephen Curry? Anyway,
these clips of Jalen Rose may just prove this.
We know his name.
Man, this shit blurry as hell, my boy.
Something as it relates to the law, but why we don't know her name? It's not like she's a minor. I feel like we should know her name publicly as well.
After openly sharing his potentially controversial opinion, Rose would swiftly make an apology soon after, taking back everything he said.
And I would like to apologize for a comment I made
Bro,
earlier.
I don't know why, but I hate Jalen Rose's glasses, bro. I hate them fat eye glasses, bro. Like, oh my god.
NBA countdown.
Them shits is butt.
I question why a woman's name who had an alleged affair with Celtics head coach Ime Udoka was not made public.
I think it's pretty obvious what ESPN thought about his initial statements. And after assistant coach Joe Mazzulla was named interim coach after Udoka's suspension, this is what Malika said to welcome him.
Mazzulla was arrested twice at West Virginia, once in 2008 for underage drinking and aggravated assault.
So I'm saying they just gotta put like stuff out there, bro. Like, but isn't that a reporter's job though, is to give you information? So it's not like it's fucked up that she's saying that, but it's like I don't know, bro.
And then again in 2009 for domestic battery after an incident at Morgantown Bar.
You might be wondering, is Malika okay? How does it make sense to bring up someone's criminal history from 13 years ago, in a situation where no crimes were committed under the law? However, when considering Malika's recent comments made about Brandon Miller, a clear yet disturbing pattern is becoming evident. To add to this, around a month after the Ime Udoka situation, during a segment reporting on the death of former Michigan State player Adrian Payne, this is what Malika had to say about Payne.
Adrian Payne was shot and killed in Orlando, Florida. Played 4 seasons in the NBA with multiple teams. In 2018, he was waived by the Magic after he was named in a report by ESPN's Outside the Lines that he'd been involved in an alleged sexual assault at Michigan State in 2010. No charge.
All right, yeah, that's weird. That's weird. This man's dead. Then you bringing up his sexual assault cases. This is all. I feel like what you said earlier about ESPN trying to promote like the woke stuff. I feel like that's what this actually is. Though. Like that's a good point. Like shit, they're trying to like have a woman talk about stuff like that instead of a man doing it. So it's more like, how do I say it? It's more like not believable, but I don't know the word what I'm trying to think of. But like they have a woman say this stuff like this so like the other woman to be like, you feel me? Put their fist up. Black Lives Matter. You feel me? I don't know. I probably explained that bad, but you probably get what I'm trying to say, bro.
Charges were filed in that case.
Again, the pattern of unnecessarily airing out the criminal history of black men during—
Yeah, but like, talk about a man that died. Talk like, come on, bro, he's dead. What the hell? What'd she say again? I want to hear.
In an alleged sexual assault at Michigan State in 2010, no charges were filed.
So this man died this year or last year, right? And she's talking about some sexual assault in 2010, 13 years ago. Like, come on, man. I don't matter no more. Where you going?
That case.
Again, the pattern of unnecessarily airing out the criminal history of black men during a time of vulnerability continues. So the question
I see his
remains,
point. I see his point.
did she speak these words of her
I see the
own
Amy
accord,
point.
or
I
was
see
she
this
just
point.
reading from a script? If she indeed chose to bring up this incident unprompted, it reveals a deep-rooted hatred towards black men. If she didn't, then it brings up a deeper issue within the roots of the organization. Regardless, this doesn't take from the fact that Malika is the one making these absurd and damaging statements. Following this statement, it wouldn't be long until Malika Andrews' antics on television would again turn heads. While welcoming Jalen Rose back during a segment of a show, this happened.
Get your finger out of my armpit. We're just happy to see Jalen Rose. Welcome.
Man, she did not like that. You see how she leaning like this? You see the body language? She like, fuck off me, boy.
As you can clearly see,
she leaning back crazy. She's like, what the fuck?
Jalen's hand is by no means under Malika's armpit, and even if it was, why does that need to be brought up on the spot in such an accusatory manner? Nevertheless, another baseless accusation by Malika, and Jalen Rose had to find out the hard way.
Jalen Rose fired from ESPN as reports surfaced about inappropriate behavior with Malika Andrews. Whoa, what the hell? That's why he got fired? Or this is cap? Oh, there's a question mark right there. Okay, I'm like, is that the reason? Is that the real reason?
To add to these two instances involving Ime Udoka and Adrian Payne, more recently, Malika Andrews would bring up an alleged Brandon Miller incident on draft night.
His name did surface in court testimony involving a case where his former teammate and another man, they've been indicted for capital murder.
Many claim this as unnecessary.
Indicted for capital murder. I thought everybody knew that about Brandon Miller, though. Like, that was like a big thing when he was in college, so I don't.
And undoubtedly an attempt to tarnish Miller's name, just like many.
Hold on, let me see.
Is unnecessary.
I could understand if this was an active case, but I feel like if this case is dropped and he won't be charged, then there really should be no reason to bring it up. That's facts. That's facts. I agree with that.
And undoubtedly,
no one is hating on her. She has a pattern of behavior, and we are rightfully calling it out.
To tarnish Miller's name.
Malika has a long history of the way she handles these situations. Even if this incident is not that bad, she collected her 3 strikes plus more a long time ago. To me, it says a lot about the kind of person she is.
Name, just like many other black men.
She was always doing that nonsense, so uncalled for.
Malika provided limited context,
those tweets?
reading a sensationalized headline aimed at portraying Miller in the most negative light imaginable within a short segment. After considering Brandon Miller was never charged for the incident in January,
there's nothing Miller could be charged with. Alright, so he's not a criminal. And you still bring it up that he's a criminal? I mean,
her airing out a blanket incriminating accusation adds to another example of Malika Andrews showing contempt towards black men. Although Malika Andrews has not had the easiest.
So has she only done this to black people? Or has she like brought up a white dude's crimes as well?
Upbringing by any means, this does not excuse her actions. There's no denying that she's swiftly established herself as a disliked figure in NBA media by her colleagues, as well as NBA players and fans, as a result of not just her typical journalistic tendencies, but her tendency to consistently attempt to tarnish the reputation of black men in the realm of sports. Malika's clear discrimination of black men on the extremely large platform is simply unjust, But what's more alarming is that the company that hires her continues to encourage her without punishment. After ESPN recently released their list of firings for the year, fans were outraged after discovering Malika Andrews was not on the list. Although many of us see through her often insensitive actions, to ESPN and sports media as a whole, she's probably seen as a loved and protected figure that can do no wrong. And the truth is, there is no sign that the rise of Malika Andrews in sports media will be stopping anytime soon.
I feel like he made some good points, obviously, but like, I could have sworn, I swear other reporters like do stuff like this, like where they talk about like past stuff that happened to like in the draft. I feel like she's not the first person to do stuff like this, but I did get him saying like when it's a black dude, she like put a little extra emphasis, she put a little extra little oomph on it. You get what I'm saying? But like, yeah, I mean, I see what he's trying to say, but I'm on the fence. Anyways, man, hope y'all enjoyed that, man. It's a pretty interesting video. Shout out, I think his name is Sports Search. Shout out Sports Fear, man, and yeah, bro, it's a good video. I'm out. Peace.